Part 1. Read all numbers correctly. Fin, feel, fail, fine, sniff. Half, fill in, finished, feels fine. 5, 4, form, February, full front. Friendly, office, if, sofa, wife, profile. Love, telephone, photograph, beautiful, photographer, comfortable, myself, after, soft, Mr. Puffin, Phillips, difficult, veal, vine, veil, view, leave, half, Vera, leaving, half, very November, 5, village, leaving, love, valet, driving, lovely, van, lived, leaves, Victor, arrived, we, will, west, wet, wine, well, when, woods, everywhere, well, why, sandwiches, wet weather, wild, 12, Wendy went, white wine, 20, which, were, quiet, what was where, quickly, watched, more, sweet, walk, away, Gwen, warm, railway, squirrels, wonderful, joke, Jake, jam, jazz, jeers. Part 2. Read this news. Wellington, New Zealand Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern said on Monday, November 29, the country will move into a system of living with the COVID-19 virus later this week, despite the new Omicron variant posing a fresh health threat to the world. There were no cases of the Omicron variant in New Zealand at this stage, but the developing global situation showed why a caution approach was needed at the borders. She said, Omicron is a reminder of the risk that still exists at our borders. She said, Omicron is a reminder of the risk that still exists at our borders. Ardern said at the news conference, New Zealand has some of the toughest border controls in the world and plans to keep borders closed to most international travelers for a further 5 months. It also introduced fresh border measures for travelers from 9 southern African nations on the weekend, announcing that only citizens from these countries can travel to New Zealand and will have to stay in state quarantine for 15 days. Ardern said a lot of evidence still needed to be gathered to know the impact of the Omicron variant. It may impact on our vaccines, but it may not. It may be more severe or it may be more mild than Delta. We simply don't know, Ardern said. Director General of Health Ashley Bloomfield said authorities were looking at whether more needed to be done at the borders to keep Omicron away. It's really just looking to keep Omicron out while we learn more about it, Bloomfield told reporters at the news conference. New Zealand moves into a new traffic light system from Friday that rates regions as red, orange, or green depending on their level of exposure to COVID-19 and vaccination rates. Auckland, the The epicenter of the country's Delta outbreak will start at red, making face masks mandatory and putting limits on gatherings at public places. New Zealand has had about 11,000 cases so far and 43 related deaths. Part 3. Read this story. Long ago, the mice had a general council to consider what measures they could take to outwit their common enemy, the cat. Some said this and some said that, but at last a young mouse got up and said he had a proposal to make, which he thought would meet the case. "You will all agree," said he, "that our chief danger consists in the sly and treacherous manner in which the enemy approaches us. Now, if we could receive some signal of her approach, we could easily escape from her. I venture, therefore, to propose that a small bell be procured, and attached by a ribbon round the neck of the cat. By this means we should away know when she was about, and could easily retire while she was in the neighborhood." This proposal met with general applause, until an old mouse got up and said, That is all very well, but who is to bell the cat?" The mice looked at one another and nobody spoke. Then the old mouse said, "It is easy to propose, and it is easy to propose impossible remedy."